Hi, boys and girls. So the story we're going to read is The Incredibles. The Incredibles Super Annoying. Dash was bored. It was Sunday afternoon, and he had run out of things to do. He had already taken a 20-mile run, cooled off with 50 laps over the town pool, and chased the neighbor's dog around the block. But with Dash's super speed, he had only killed about 5 minutes. He was sitting in his messy bedroom on his unmade bed, wondering what to do when his mother Helen walked past the doorway. "You know, Dash," his mom said, stopping to poke her head into the room, "if you're looking for something to do, you could clean up your..." Before Helen had a chance to finish, Dash raced around his room and cleaned it up. "I'm still bored," Dash said with a groan. "Well, you could read a book," Helen said as she left his room. "That's boring," thought Dash. Just then, the telephone rang. Violet raced out of her bedroom to get it, and Dash's eyes zeroed in on her. "Target spotted. Now this will be fun," he said to himself. Dash stopped in Violet's doorway, a sly grin sped across his face. Dash's eyes darted back and forth between Violet's bedroom and the kitchen, making sure his sister wasn't looking. Then he hurried into her room in search of a good place to hide. Five minutes later, Violet came back into her room and closed the door behind her. She started to cross to her bed, but halfway she stopped in her tracks and looked around. Things were not as she left them. The bedspread was upside down, and the lampshade on her lamp was missing. Her books had been moved around, and the posters that hung around her mirror were rearranged. "Mom, Dash rearranged all my stuff," Violet yelled. As Helen walked down the hall, a breeze whipped through Violet's room. Helen looked inside. "It looks fine to me, honey. Your brother's reading a book in his room." "Now I've got dinner ready," she said. Violet's eyes scanned the room. Everything was back in place. Then her eyes fell on the closet door, which stood ajar. She went over to the door and threw it open. "Dash!" Violet exclaimed, pushing some clothes aside to find her brother crouched behind them. "Get out of here, you little insect!" Dash jumped up, wearing some of Violet's clothes. "Look at me, I'm Violet! I'm in love with Tommy Ranger!" Violet reached in, grabbed Dash by one arm, and pulled him out of the closet. Then she dragged him across the room and pushed him out into the hallway. "Stay out of my room!" Violet yelled, slamming the door behind her brother. Dash dropped the clothes in the hall, spread out to the front door of the house, and snuck around to the backyard. He stood on tiptoe to peer through Violet's bedroom window. Violet hadn't even had time to cross the room to sit down on her bed before she spotted her little brother staring in at her. "Yoo-hoo, Violet!" Dash called to her in a slickly sweet sing-song voice as he threw her a dainty wave. Violet rushed to the window to pull down the shade. As she sat on her bed, she felt something under her. "Ah!" she screamed. "Forgot to lock something?" Dash said, poking his head from under the bed covers. Then he zoomed around and around onto her bed, down to the floor. Around Violet at such super speed, Violet couldn't even tell where he was at any given moment. All she saw was a blur flying around her room, kicking a roller in the papers, blowing them off the mirror. "Dash!" Violet shouted. "Knock it off!" But Dash only came to a halt when he spotted Violet's diary, which had been blown off the bookshelf and fallen open into her bed. "Oh," Dash said, picking up the diary and eyeing it excitedly. "What do we have here?" "Oh, poetry?" Dash continued in a fake English accent. "I love Tony. He does the cutest. Shall I compare him to a..." "That's it?" Violet had just about enough of Dash. "Give me that back," she yelled. Dash tried to race out of the room, but using her superpowers, Violet threw a force field to the front door. Dash ran into it head on and was knocked to the floor. The diary fell out of his hands and Violet quickly snatched it away. But before she knew it, the diary flew out of her hands into a sudden wind. "How does love be?" Dash read the diary from the other side of the room. Violet turned invisible and lunged at Dash. "You're gonna get it," she cried. Dash and Violet continued to chase each other around Violet's room in a blur of superpowers. Suddenly, they heard their mom calling to them. "Fat! Violet! Dash!" cried Mom. "Time for dinner!" Dash froze, then in a blink of an eye, he zipped out for the bedroom door and down the hallway to the kitchen. "Dash," Helen asked, "did you finish your book?" When Violet appeared at the table, her hair was all frazzled. "Nah," Dash replied. "I found something better to do." And that was The Incredibles' super annoying story. So for the activity today, I prep for the kids. They usually come on Thursday, but if you're watching this and you want to do it, you can go right ahead. So the materials I prepped was just a white piece of paper, because what you're going to do is you're going to get like a wooden spatula or spoon, or you can even use a spatula if you want, because we're going to do splat painting. So splat painting is when you get like a wooden spatula, or even like any type of spatula. It can be plastic, whatever, or a wooden spoon, and you're going to dip it in the paint and the kids are going to splat it on the paper, and it'll create a cool little splatter design. And you guys can use any color paint you want. And yeah, so that's the activity today. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.